welcome to another episode of Bitcoin Wednesday. Let's bring in our host, Vance. Yeah, we still haven't figured out a good nickname. We'll work on it. We say that every week.
We say that every week, yeah.
We'll work on it. My kid calls me Bitcoin Brian, but I can't think of a good one for Vance. So, how we doing today?
Good, man.
Good. Well, we apologize. We missed everybody last week. It was the 4th of July, and I know Vance had some things going on. I had some things going on, so we decided to take a week off. But we are back. But don't worry, nothing really changed. You didn't miss anything. Maybe a couple little things, but the market in a whole, I think, has pretty much stayed the same.
Yeah, we're still
not
about
a lot.
the same.
Yep, not a lot going on in as far as that goes. It's been pretty stagnant the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, not a lot of movement.
It's interesting though, because I was just filling out my paper from and taking a look at the numbers a little bit. So 2 weeks ago, the total market cap was 236 billion. It's now up to 251 today. So we have gained about $15 billion in the last 2 weeks. Yeah. Not a lot, but considering a year and a half ago, the whole market was only $17 billion. So 15 in 2 weeks is not too bad. Bitcoin today is sitting at $6,338. No, excuse me. Yes, today. 2 weeks ago, it was at $5,883. So we got about a $500 gain there. So in the last 2 weeks. But the Bitcoin dominance has gone up to 43.3%. That's the one I don't like.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That at all. That's a lot. Yeah, almost 50% of the market is Bitcoin right now. We need that to go down to 30% would be great. So, and as more money keeps coming in, it's gonna keep dropping. The dominance is gonna go down. It can only be so high. Yeah. So, anyways, what's new in your world? Anything to report?
Not specifically. I mean, there is. I don't know. There is a lot of stuff that has been going on in the background that we hear about, and it's a lot with altcoins, of course. Making different deals, what they're doing. Nothing really big just for crypto itself. Nothing's really. The last big news we had was there was a lot of investigations going on with crypto in the United States. We've heard all that, but I'm just talking about what's been new about for each individual coin. So we see that that's happened this week. TPAY, the token that's actually bought a bank. First one in history, and hopefully not the last. But basically, TPAY made a deal with Litecoin this week and sold them their 9.9% share of the bank over in, was it Swiss?
Germany,
but it's called Swiss something. I don't remember the name of the bank. Anyway, and basically bringing in Litecoin, bring in the big guns basically to start buying into banks, and they're going to buy more share because their deal was they still had the ability to buy 90% of that bank. Right. But they were buying the 9.9% without going through regulation first. They were trying to get that regulation passed first or be regulatory compliant before they went and bought more. But kind of how I understand it is they sold their 9.9% into Litecoin and are buying another 9.9% for themselves of that bank. So that bank basically will be close to, they're going to be 19.8% owned by crypto. So that's something that's pretty interesting. I also read earlier that same bank has been doing special crypto accounts for currencies, for coins. So basically any coin that's, a new ICO or basically a coin that's out there that isn't sure where they can even bank at as a company because they are a crypto company. That bank is now opening up specific or special lines business for those companies. So that's something that's pretty interesting too. So they're trying to they're getting hit on all fronts, or trying to expand on all fronts with that. Just more legitimate mass adoption, I think, is what it looks at. But
Right.
I
That's
thought
awesome.
that was quite interesting this week, that just between TokenPay and Litecoin now, that they're teaming up together on the banking side. So I think that's pretty interesting.
Very, very cool. Well, and like I said, yeah, there's the market in a whole seems like it's just kind of been stagnant, a little bit up, a little bit down. Hasn't really had a lot of big major gains or losses the last couple of weeks. But there are little individual things that coins are doing and coming out with. For instance, Electronium announced in the time that we've been gone that they're beta testing their Apple app. They got approved to be on Apple. So without the mobile mining, but nevertheless, we'll be able to use our Apple phones to transfer money between each other.
Right.
So
it kind of interesting too is I've seen a lot of people. I signed up to do the beta testing. I've not been picked to do that. So
I haven't either.
If you're listening out there, I do want to be picked. But anyway, I thought it was quite interesting that seeing just on quite a few other forums that I follow, there is a lot of people that are using it, that were picked and that are demoing it. So it is live.
Cool.
And people are out there testing it. So I think that's pretty interesting.
Richard, this is on our page that you're on, so you need to make sure that you get us down to beta test the product. That would be great, right?
Right. I'm all interested. I'm all in.
So, did you share this, Vance? Did you share this yet?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Make sure. We want to make sure Richard's watching. Hello, Richard. Hello, Richard. Very cool. Very cool. What about Ripple? There's supposed to be something going down right now. Ripple is looking at getting. They're going through the process right now. You know how Bitcoin was. They said Bitcoin is not a security. Ethereum is not a security. Ripple's going through that process right now too, and I haven't heard anything lately.
I have not heard how they've come out on but they're Ripple's. I mean, Ripple and XRP. They've kind of. I don't know if anybody else out there has noticed this, but they've really started to separate Ripple from XRP. I mean, they even changed the logo and their name on CoinMarketCap. So if you go look, it doesn't say Ripple anymore. It actually just says XRP, and they have a new logo. It used to be the little, I don't know, kind of looked like a flower shape. Kind of kidsy and everything. Now it's just this X, this different X that they've designed. So if you're on CoinMarketCap, just go look at it real quick. But it is kind of a different logo. They've really tried to separate the company from the coin. So I don't really understand why they're trying to do that, other than they have been in cahoots, I guess is what you'd say, but with the SEC on part of this regulation. The lawyers that they're using used to be chairmen at the SEC, who are lawyers who have left the SEC and now doing their own business, but understand the regulatory laws and rules and everything for the SEC. So they've hired them in to do a lot of the work for them on this. Whatever's going to come out about this, I still don't know yet, but I do know that they look a little differently upon the future of crypto and everything than everybody else does. So maybe they are trying to become a security. I really don't know. What they're trying to do, how they're trying to spin it. I really don't. So
I did notice the other day that logo looked like it had changed on my phone, but I wasn't paying a lot of attention. But I've got it up on the screen now, and it's kind of a different looking X type thing instead of Ripple's. So Ripple has always been a company. The XRP is developed by Ripple, as a standalone product. Because Ripple does have other products that they are currently using in banking and stuff like that as well. So.
But how they're going to play this out, I really don't know. But it's now really no longer Ripple. It is XRP. That is the name of the coin, and that's how it stands.
That's the company. Yep.
Yep.
Look at that. Ripple was above $3 at one point. I remember that day very well. I should have sold. 365. Holy cow. Currently sitting at 44 cents, I think. So very cool.
Yeah.
What else is in there in the top 10 that looks going on? I haven't seen too much.
Well, it's kind of, I mean, if you go down the top 10, I thought it was kind of interesting earlier this week too, just going through and looking at who's kind of taken over the top 10 lately. You know,
some of the big ones have fallen out, but I think that's because of the prices of them, have dropped so much that they've actually fallen out of the top 10.
Yeah. So, and it's always nice just to look at the price graph, that 7-day look over on the side, on the right-hand side. You know, they all kind of follow Bitcoin, but then you see the ones, then you see the ones that really kind of come away from Bitcoin. And if you go down, like Litecoin's one of those, they really peaked on their own without everybody else. I thought that was kind of interesting. Then you look at Tether, that one just makes me laugh. So Tether's number 10.
Yeah, number 10.
But look at the ups and downs on that, like Trader's Dream right there.
The funny thing about that though is you're going from 99 cents to $1.01.
But I'm saying
they pretty much stay in that range
where that one peaks and you see everything else drop or stay stagnant.
Yes,
that's where the day trader gets their profits, is that trading back and forth. So that I thought that was quite interesting. Just as your holding pattern, but just to kind of back to see who, the top 10, Cardano's number 8, Stellar's number 7, EOS number 5. These are names that are not synonymous with the top 10, IOTA's been up and down, back and forth. They're number 9, Tron's number 11. So really, if you don't count Tether really that much at all, but Tron is number 11, is really number 10. Neo being number 12 next to Monero and Dash after that, or 13 to 14. Usually we've seen these up quite a bit
top
higher.
10 coins. Yeah.
Yeah. These are top 10 coins that we've usually seen quite a bit higher. And then we got Ethereum Classic down at 15, and then the Binance coin at 17. So an exchange coin.
And I think with Monero, for instance, I mean, that's a $250 coin. When it goes back up, it's going to be right back up in the top 10 again.
Yeah.
Just because of that, the value of it and stuff. And so, it is kind of interesting to see them drop down though.
It is. So it's kind of funny watching those top 10, top 15 kind of changing out all the time. And then we see, what was it? What was the one that was in the news a lot lately? Verge was in the news lately. They're down to 38. They've dropped out a little bit. I mean, they were up to 90 cents or 9 cents. I mean, they were up at 9 cents.
9 cents. Yeah.
Now they're down to 2.2 cents.
Yeah. And I was just at Lisk. Lisk is at, where did I just see it? It was at $5 right now. That's a $40 coin.
Yeah.
$40 coin. So there's definitely a lot of great coins out there right now that are on sale. Just great prices on them. The people right now are, people are still worried about it. Well, are they going to keep dropping? They're going to keep dropping. And we've seen them pretty stagnant the last couple of weeks. And so going down, you look at the 7-day graph and they've all kind of gone down a little bit. And, but I think that day's coming. We talked about it earlier. I think the day's coming when it's going to just all of a sudden things are going to start shooting up, and then you're going to get FOMO, and everybody's going to have the fear of missing out, and it's going to keep, it's going to drive the prices up and stuff. And so
it'll fuel it a little bit more.
Now's the time. Steam's at $1.30. Jeez, just some crazy prices on some of these.
It's kind of funny too, because we didn't do the show last week, but just last week, if we drop down, I mean, let's jump down to Electroneum. We kind of talked about them for a second, but they had some news come out. They actually did an emergency
fork back
to ASICs. Okay, we haven't even talked about that because that was just a week ago.
Oh, it's
or did we talk? I don't remember, but it seems like that was just in the last 2 weeks that happened. And we jumped from, we were under 1 cent. We were like we were 0.8 of a cent. Something like that. Or 0.08, 0.09, somewhere right around there. And it jumped up to 1.5 cents. Basically it doubled.
Almost doubled. Yeah.
Almost
would have
doubled.
been a great time if you'd have bought it that 8 cents.
And now we're back down to 1.25% again, or 1 1/8. We're down to 1 1/8 again.
Yep.
But I mean, there was a good time there. We're up to 1.5%, and that was just last week. That was last
1 week's time, you
Thursday.
could have doubled your money pretty easily.
Yeah, that was just in the last 2 weeks. So we were at 0.8 cents when we did the show last time, 0.9 cents, went up to 1.5 cents, and now we're back down to 1. So if you would have played day trader on that one, I know that's not day trading, but that's pretty quick just to double up your money.
That's a good turnaround. Yep.
And get back out. You know, I mean, that's still a good deal. So,
yep. Yeah, so Electroneum, you know, it's got, like I said, it's got the Apple app coming out. They're beta testing the instant payment systems for stores. So I think there's a lot of good things happening, and by September, it's going to be an interesting looking coin.
Yeah, I think it is. Watching Richard a little bit. Oh, go ahead. I
was just going to say, Richard L's been putting out some videos, you know, and staying in contact, and so I see some good things coming. Oh
yeah, they're constantly putting out some videos. So there's no lack of communication from the Electroneum team. There really isn't. I mean, more than any other coin that's out there. Maybe not as much as TokenPay, but TokenPay's got some big deals in the works. So they've been making headlines for a while, and we always see stuff on Ripple too. But I mean, for a smaller altcoin that came out, you know, and has got a huge following behind it, I think Els does very well, and the team at least, because Chris Gorman's on that team as well. He's posted some good articles out lately as well, and All About Tech actually brought that up this week. I thought it was quite interesting. That the latest article about how the unbanked masses of the world, and it's basically like 1.9 billion people in the world. We're not talking just in America or anywhere else. I mean, we're talking in the world. There's 1.9 billion users in the world that do not use banking, and it was kind of interesting. He put a graph out of the entire world, of every country out there, kind of showing where majority fell and stuff. And it was quite interesting. I mean, us being in the United States, that there were still users in the United States. There was a percentage of users in the United States that don't use banking. So I thought that was quite interesting too. It was every country had some, but I mean, more of the third world type countries are larger percentage of that, of course. But
they just don't have access to the banks on every corner and stuff like we do.
I mean, there's a Wells Fargo on literally every corner around here, and stuff. So, or a Chase Bank. But anyway, I mean, yeah, that's a little bit differently in the U.S. compared to most countries out there, or I mean, even in Europe,
right?
Banking's easier than it is, in most countries. So it's just, I thought it was quite interesting. Some of his comments out there, some of his little articles and talkings about why they're going after the non-banked. And basically, they had a goal of, what was it, 20 million users? I think is what their goal was. Right?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
20 million users or something like that. Yeah, and as what their goal's at. And of course, I mean, with Electroneum, how many? Let's see, we got 21 billion total coin out. I mean, circulating supply is quite a bit less than that. But 21 is the total supply, 21 billion. Will we ever get to that? Maybe in 20 years. I mean, our total circulating supply right now is 7.3 billion. But, as the closer we get to those higher numbers, the harder it is to mine, of course, and the value goes up, because the coin are harder to get and everything. But let's say at 20 million users, and we have, excuse me,
I was just looking on the page right now. We're at 1.9 million users.
Yeah, 1.9 million, and they want to get to 20, but 20 million users. Let's just say 20 million users, and the circulating supply that we have right now. How many coins is that per person that breaks down to? Right, and All About Tech. He was talking about this earlier, that it's like 1,050 coin, 1,050 ETN per user at 20 million users. Okay. And how many of us hold a lot more than 1,050 coin and aren't about to sell it? Right. So the demand for the coin, once it starts being used and these bankless societies that's how they're going to start using to make payments because of the payment system that Electronium's coming up with. The demand's going to go up. That's going to increase the value of that coin exponentially. So, I mean,
Right.
there is a real use case for Electronium. So, I mean, if you're not into it, your 1,050 coin right now, which is what, at a penny a piece, that's $10. You know, I mean,
Yep.
yeah, it's this is your time to be able to get in. I mean, you already had it lower. We've already shown that just 2 weeks ago. It was a little bit lower than that. I mean, you were at ICO prices. In heck, you're below what some guys were getting in at ICO.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean,
You're way lower than a lot of people have been buying the last couple of months. I mean,
oh yeah, I mean, we've bought higher.
we've
We
been
bought at
buying it on the
ICO.
way down. Yeah.
Yeah, we bought ICO, but we've been buying it on the way down. So I mean, we've bought higher, not enough to offset what we've already got, what we bought
Right.
at ICO, but it doesn't matter. We were still padding our wallets with it, which was quite nice.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I see a lot of good things in the future. I mean, so the problem is it's the future. We got to just keep.
yeah,
We got to hodl, hang on to the coins.
right. We're still in that holding position right now, and unfortunately, it's just the market as a whole is going to be like that.
Yep.
So I mean, we're in a stagnant market, so it's not moving any direction really. It hasn't been going up or down. It's just stagnant right now. It's going sideways.
So yeah, like I said, there's not a whole lot of new exciting things to talk about this week. But do you want to share anything about any of our new pages or anything we got going on, or you want to wait till we?
We'll wait till we get some stuff up. But yeah,
okay. We've got some exciting pages coming, so we'll be sharing that before too long.
But yeah, I mean, the biggest news for me, because I am a Token Pay follower, I really like what they're doing. And here's kind of what I'm taking away from this. So Els was in New Jersey or New York for that conference just a month ago, and he was invited to come speak. And I'm sure everybody, we're just kind of rehashing on what everybody knows. But if you weren't understanding why he was there, some of his videos got posted up on YouTube and around. Basically, he was brought in to talk about the future of crypto, and not in the way of where is crypto going, but in the future, as in what crypto will survive in the future. Okay.
Right.
And this is something that Brian and I have talked about quite a few times about ICOs, what you should be looking for, crypto, new cryptos coming out, what you should be looking for to invest in these. Are they going to last? Are they going to be, like an article that came out earlier this week, I posted up, 50% of all ICOs that have come out this year have failed. I mean, because it's a cash grab. That's really what we're in right now, is a cash grab. People are just throwing out ICOs.
They fail within how much time do they fail?
Months. 4 months. So 4 months. This is Electro Nero, perfect example. Cash grab off of anybody who was in Electronium and said, hey, let's get in and we'll give you free coin. And they were hoping to get it on an exchange, which they did. And then within a month it was delisted. But they were basically just trying to create a coin and then use your potential investment into it. I mean, you were getting it for free, but the fact is they wanted you to drum up business for them so they could sell their coin and cash out. That's all it was. It was a scam right from the beginning. Okay. But there was an article that came out earlier this week or maybe last week that talked about how 50% of all ICOs this year have failed within 4 months. That's because they're all out there. They're all trying to scam you, fake it, whatever, get your money and run. And we've seen a lot of this. We've actually seen a lot of this, and not to mention it, but Titanium was one that a lot of us got suckered in. I know Brian and I both got into that one and got a little hurt, but basically we've seen it. We've seen it come around, and so we've been very cautious. But back to the reason why Els was at this conference, he was talking about the future of crypto on the fact that how will crypto survive this industry? And that's what this is what Els is great at, because why? He has the future sight that a lot of us don't even understand or even comprehend what's going on right now. This is another reason why I really like looking at TokenPay. They have that future look about, we're going to get in a bank. We're going to buy a bank, because why? This has to be the future of finance in the world. It's not banking, but the fact is banking makes it a lot easier for people to accept crypto. Okay. That's what Richard Ells is doing. He's making payment products, payment models for companies to start being able to take payment very easily from you and I anywhere in the world on any platform. So we can go in and pay with the type of crypto that they're willing to accept. With Ells, of course, Electroneum is going to be the forefront on that. So another reason why you should be in Electroneum. But this is what he was brought in to talk about, which makes a lot of sense, because there's just too many cryptos out there that, sure, the crypto's been out for a while, but who's the team? What are they doing to do anything with it, to tell you the truth?
Right.
And what deals are they, what's their future for or their insight for the future? Is it just to have a crypto out there because they didn't like the banking system 10 years ago? I mean, is that really what it's about? Or is it, we're trying to change the world for the better so everybody's on an equal playing level? Because really that's what crypto is doing. It's taking the power from the governments, it's taking the power from the banking industry and making it under the people's rule. Okay. So you have control over your finances. And unfortunately, I mean, we still see a lot of regulation going on, and there has to be. Otherwise, people keep getting taken advantage of, like under titanium.
Right.
And we don't want that going. So there has to be some protection there. So there needs to be some regulation. But at the same time, you have the ability to make a lot of money on your own, doing your own thing without having someone else tell you how to do it. And it's a lot of freedom is what we look at with crypto. There's a lot of financial freedom in it. So, but I think lots of good stuff on the future playboard for just this year, I think, is still coming. I mean, we talk about institutional money, about large exchanges coming from the stock market side, from the Wall Street side. That's all going to be this year. It's supposed to be the end, Q3 and Q4 this year. So that's still a lot to come in. And I think the landscape is going to change quite a bit, but we see people like Els that understand what's going on, and they're trying to beat that out the door so that they're on the front of that wave. They're the ones surfing on that wave.
Right.
And we're just there to follow. Tell you the truth, I'm just there to follow along. I'm sure you too are, Brian. But I'll catch that same wave as he is, or anybody else that's trying to build a platform, build their surfboard to ride that wave. I want to be right there too. So
right. And that wave could be a year, it could be 2 years, whatever. That's the reasons a lot of people have kind of gotten out, because they're expecting to get rich overnight and to do something, and they keep trading their coins, and they're not really in it for anything, for a purpose. They're just trying to make a quick buck, and that's where people are starting to have lost some of their money.
You're right. But here's the thing though, just like we saw the end of last year, it's a wave. Okay. There's a lot of moving inertia out in that ocean that's pushing all year long. Okay. But where do we see that wave? Right when it breaks on the shore. Well, that was December last year. That's when we saw that wave, and it pushed Bitcoin up to $20,000. I mean, the wave crashed. We came back down and it went back out to sea, type of thing. But there's another one coming in right behind it. That's the way it works. And the thing is, now we have even more inertia, because why? We've got bigger guys. We got bigger fish out there. And the guys from TokenPay, they see what's going to push. Richard Ells, he sees what's going to push. He's going to make that wave bigger. And that's what he's doing right now. So, but yeah, it is a little bit of a roller coaster, but you're just riding the wave the whole time. So, and
I think, we talked a couple of weeks ago about some possible manipulation amongst, markets, different markets, the banks, investment companies, things like that, to maybe manipulate the price of Bitcoin and these others to get the price down a little bit. Because we see that they're getting involved with exchanges, or opening up their own exchanges, or they want in this market, but they want to get in and make money. They're in it to make money with their clients and things like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So there could be a little bit of manipulation going on or whatever, but I see them. They're going to jump in, and that's where I see that the market all of a sudden is going to spike at some point. I don't know when exactly, but all of a sudden we're going to see that money coming in. We're going to be back up to $1 trillion before you know it.
And that's the thing is the number crunching that's going on about the potential money that's coming in from investment firms and from Wall Street. Basically, it's not just $1 trillion; it's trillions, multiples, right. And we've never seen that yet. We came dang close. We came real close last year to $1 trillion.
And Bitcoin was at almost $20,000 at that point.
At that point, right?
So now imagine trillions of dollars in the market, and what could Bitcoin's possibility be at that point?
Trillions, and then to tens of trillions of dollars. I mean, that's really what we're looking at here. Is I think they were talking about the potential of 50 trillion by 2020, 2 years, and where in 2020, end of 2020, beginning of 2020. We're talking $50 trillion, 50 times what the market was at its peak. Okay. And right now, that's actually 200 times what the market is.
Wow!
Right now, okay. So there's some huge potential out there, guys. What's going on? And these aren't numbers that we're just pulling out of our butt. I mean, these are numbers that actually Wall Street. These are what the analysts are talking about. How much money that's in Wall Street that they would move into crypto. That's not all of Wall Street. This is a percentage of Wall Street that would be invested over to offset their portfolios is basically what it is. Okay.
And that's US money.
Right. This is US. These are the four US exchanges.
Crypto is global. And we keep forgetting that. I mean, China could put in so much money that would just make your head spin.
Yeah. So
that's just the US we're talking about as well. So we got to remember there's really a lot more opportunity than just, we see it mostly in the US, but there's a lot of global money out there.
You
get China, you get Korea, South Korea.
Yeah.
Rocket Man.
But the fact is, I mean, where Electronium was born, you've got England, right? You got London. Yeah. There's I don't know, last time anybody looked at property over there, what property values are. I know it is an island, but the fact is you got to be extremely wealthy to live there. That's really what it comes down to. So the cost
in the London area. Yes.
In the London area. Yeah. But I mean, you've got Europe as a whole that's a little bit more united, because of the euro and things like that. But I mean, there's a lot of money out there that, of course, we speculated on a lot of things, but there's a lot of areas in this world where there's a lot of money that people just don't understand or don't realize that can come into crypto very quickly.
Right.
So I think there's some serious opportunity for growth. And when you hear anybody talking about mass adoption, like Mr. Els does, I mean, this is something that, this is something that's going to be life-changing for some people. It's going to be world-changing on the finance game for sure.
Well, I think, Vance, that's why it's so important for people right now to do their research and really look into some of these coins. And even if it's just the top 10 coins, and start putting some money into some of these coins. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. I mean, don't put in more than you're willing to lose or risk. But if you've got a little bit of money that you're willing to hold on to for a year, let's say, this is the time to buy it, because when it goes, as we saw last year, I mean, when it hit 200 billion, and then it was 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. I mean, it went fast. It went really fast.
And that's what we're talking about. That's when that wave is going to come up and hit the shore, and it's going to be going big time. And you want to be there. I mean, if you're not out there swimming, then what's the point? You're just on the beach watching. Well, you're not playing. It's not going to benefit you at all to be out there. So you need to be in the game playing. And that's what we're saying. You're right. You need to be very specific on what you're looking for. You need to be very cautious on what you're investing in. You need to be doing your research. You really do. Yeah. But if you're not playing, then you're just spectating, and it's not going to do anything for you in the end anyway, because you're not going to get the trophy for playing. I mean,
it's not
and
that
it's not
kind
a
of game.
participation. It's not a participation trophy. It really isn't. You got to be in, and you got to be playing. You got to be making the right moves. But this is exactly what we're talking about. Is there is a wave coming. Whether it happens the end of this year or next year, we don't know because we can't predict that. Okay, but it's like a full moon coming over, and those waves are just getting bigger and bigger because there's so much more money now taking interest in crypto. There's more traditional money, more investment money. That's actually, their ears are perking up, and it all happened last year. I mean, a majority of this happened last year when suddenly Bitcoin hit $20,000. Suddenly everybody went, "What?"
And it all happened in the fourth quarter last year too.
Yeah,
the fourth quarter was crazy. So, we saw the summer kind of come, and it was kind of low in the summer, and then it went down a little bit.
Yeah.
But by the fourth quarter,
third quarter, it even
started out going. Yep.
It had some good gains. I mean, we were jumping from 1,000 to 2,000 to, I mean, it passed 5,000 and people's brains exploded.
Yeah.
When Bitcoin passed $5,000, and that wasn't until September.
We just lost Vance. But he's absolutely right. I mean, it went up to $5,000 and people about lost their minds. They could not believe what happened. But then it dropped down to about 3,700 people, and everybody was freaking out. That's going to, what's going to happen? Bitcoin is going away. It's going to die. It's going to die. And it didn't die. It went from 3,700 back up to 5,000, then continued to keep on going. So, yeah, Bitcoin, and it's still higher right now than it was last summer. So,
yeah. But I remember I was still buying Bitcoin last fall. I was still buying. I mean, I bought Bitcoin all last year, but the fact is, I was still buying Bitcoin when it hit $6,000.
Oh yeah.
And then it dropped. It actually dropped to, after I bought at 6, I think it dropped to below 5. It was in the 4s, and I kind of freaked out. I went, "Oh, I bought too high. I bought too late." And then what does it do? It turns around and goes to 20.
Yeah.
After that, I mean, it wasn't that it turned around and went to 20 immediately, but it went quick. It went up to 7, 8. Suddenly it passed 10, and everybody's minds blew up. Everybody's brains exploded, and then suddenly within a few weeks we were at 20. It is that quick. Yeah. So, and it's going to happen again this year.
Yeah, I know we bought some at 16,000, 17,000, 18,000. Because if you want to get into other coins, you've got to buy Bitcoin,
right?
And just for people that are new that might be listening or whatever, just remember, you do not have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy a portion of Bitcoin. So if you have $100 you want to invest in Bitcoin, that's okay. You can buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. You're just going to get a little percentage of Bitcoin. And that's what scares a lot of people is they think, "Oh, I can't afford a whole Bitcoin. It's $400 right now. How do I buy a Bitcoin?"
Exactly.
Well, you don't have to buy one right now. You can buy $100 now, $100 next week. Whatever you can afford, within reason. But I would definitely take the opportunity to buy a little bit of some of these top 10 coins because I think you're going to see several of them. Cardano is a good one, for example. It's around 11 cents right now. Cardano was over $1 last year. Cardano will be over $1 again. Very easy to get a 10 times gain on that coin right now.
Yeah. And it's number 8. This is a number 8 coin at 12.9 cents.
Yeah. So buy $120 worth of it. And, you got a good chance to make $1,200 off of a $120 investment. And I think it'll go well above $1. But I'm just saying this is a coin that will definitely hit over $1 again. And it's at 12 cents.
Right. And understand, this one's already got a circulating supply of 25 billion coins.
Mm-hmm.
And it was over $1.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's great. It's a great blockchain technology.
It is. It's great blockchain technology. So, I mean, there's a lot of coins out there that still have huge potential, but there's a lot of crap ones out there too. That's why we're saying, take your time, look at a coin, look at what its backers are doing, what's the future, what deals are they making, what are they trying to do for crypto as a whole with that coin. Okay. But I mean, that's why we're saying if anybody's new and wants to really invest, where should they put your money? Where should you invest in? We said look at the top 10, top 15. Minus Tether. You don't want to hold in Tether. But
right.
But the fact is, if you want to buy, look at the top 10 to 15 coins on CoinMarketCap. That's where the money's at. Okay. These are the players that have been around the longest. And they've bounced up and down, but the thing is they're still high. Even where they're at right now may look low, they're still high compared to last year. And I mean, and the thing is, if you looked at these from 2 years ago, I mean, they're exponentially high from 2 years ago still. So I mean, it just goes that much. So you just got to look at it as I'm holding these a year upon a year upon a year. Okay. And the thing is, you don't even have to look at this as like stocks. Oh, I'm going to hold this for 10 years and just keep building my 401k or how it is for retirement. You don't even have to look at it that long. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, crypto hasn't even been around for 10 years, right? So, I mean, we're talking about stuff that year upon year is making earnings more than people are making in their 401ks 10 years over 10 years. I mean, there's a huge difference here with this. So I think anybody who's looking to get in, this is still a great time to get in. Even if the market is sideways right now, where it's not really moving either way, that's fine. It means it's stable. You're getting in when it's not fluctuating so much. So you didn't put a buy order when it was 400 and suddenly you got it at 600 because things fluctuated so much. You got in where you wanted to be. So and you just need to wait for the wave to come. That's really what we've got to look at. So, but yeah, I mean, there's still a lot to come for the future of crypto, and we talk about Electroneum because we were heavy investors into Electroneum. I'm not going to lie about that. We put a lot into it, but why? Because Mr. Richard Ells has some really great ideas that this is going to pay off a lot in the future. So that's why we're doing this. But anything else, Brian?
I just looking at Cardano. I mean, back last November, it was 2 cents. 2 cents, November 4th.
Right.
I mean, it's just. I mean, it's a coin that jumped up to over $1, $1.12, $1.20, something like that. So it definitely has a lot of potential, and a lot of these top 10 coins are. I would definitely. I mean, if you had $1,000, I'd look at those top 10 coins and just kind of, pick and choose a little bit. Maybe you want to go for one that's got, it's only 20 cents or something. Stellar Lumens is a good coin. Cardano's a good coin. Ripple. I mean, they're all good coins. I think
Tron is a good coin.
Tron's a good coin. It's under $1 right now. It went up to $4, right?
No, I don't think Tron ever hit $4, but.
Oh yeah,
maybe. No, I thought it hit like $1, didn't it? Maybe it hit.
No. Tron's been because you bought some of it. Remember? Oh, sorry, not Tron. Excuse me. I'm thinking IOTA.
Oh no, IOTA. I played the IOTA good. I got in and out. I made some money on that. But that's because IOTA was supposedly going in with Microsoft. But that fell through. So that I bought the hype and basically sold the reality, which is kind of what you're supposed to do. But no, Tron, the highest Tron ever got was like 25 cents. And right now they're at 3 cents. So, and I am into Tron too. I've got Tron too, but they're actually making huge deals over in China. So they're really trying to get in with China right now. Basically, kind of China's Netflix type of stuff that's going on over there. They're really trying to get in with those guys. So they are making deals with Chinese companies and everything. So when that ever takes off, think of the money that's in China, and Tron's trying to capitalize on that. So I really do think Tron will be a good one here in the future too. And they're number 11.
11. They definitely have a very high circulating supply.
They do. They've got a really high circulating supply, but the thing is, in China, there's a lot of people to buy circulating supply too.
Right.
So I mean,
Yeah. I mean, so
yeah. So
I mean,
there's
if it just went back to 25 cents again, I mean, that's an 8 times gain. So it's still a good coin, at that, and the potential is there to be even more.
right.
So
Right. So I mean, there's lots to come. I mean, if you go down there's a lot of coins on here we can't talk about. We just don't know. I mean, there's a lot of coins, guys. I mean, CoinMarketCap tracks 1,500 coins, and there's actually over 5,000 out there. So you just got to be careful. And that's like we're saying, out of all the ICOs that have happened in the last year, 50% have died within 4 months. So you need to just be careful on what you're looking at, and
So-
that's where we always say, look at the team. Who's the team behind the coin? What are they doing? What's the coin? What gap is that coin going to fill? And basically, what's kind of their motives behind this? What's going on? So take some time to go through and do some research on it and find out, because you just don't need another copycat of another coin that's already out there and been done 20 times over.
right.
Because we see that all the time. Or they're saying we're going to build this platform that does all this. Well, then you shouldn't be donating to their idea that they haven't even developed yet. You want guys that have already put their own money up, built the idea, and they're now basically trying to get it out there. Those are the ICOs you want to fund.
Yeah. And you're going to see businesses that have working products or whatever, they're going to start coming into the blockchain, into this type of realm. They might have a great product already, and that's the type of things that you might be willing to go for on an ICO. But
Right.
if you're doing these ICOs that are just, hey, it's like back in the internet ages, hey, put a .com on it, give me some money.
Right. Had nothing to do with tech.
Product, but I'm going to put
internet. Well, it could have had a product. It could have been a flooring company, but the flooring company had nothing to do with technology. It had nothing to do with IT. I mean, it had nothing to do with the internet at the time.
Right.
But just because they made a web domain of joesflooring.com and said, oh, we're the biggest flooring company on the internet, people were throwing money behind it. And then, of course, what happened as soon as the .coms went bust, there was no product behind it. And the guys basically walked away with the money. So, I mean, you got to be careful. You got to look at what's true and what's not. And unfortunately, the best of us still get scammed on stuff like that. It's still going to happen. But that's why you never put all your money in one investment. I know that's kind of hard to say. We've done it a few times, but you never put all your money into one investment, because you don't want that one investment out. You need to diversify a little bit.
Yep.
So
you got 10 or 15 good coins right there. Pick something you like, throw a little bit of money in it.
Right.
And just hold it. So, okay. So that's all I got for tonight.
Yeah, pretty much same here. Hope everybody enjoyed your 4th of July. Those of you in the U.S. last, we tried.
So,
yeah.
So everybody have a good week. We have some cool Facebook pages that are coming up soon that we're working on. We got some merchandise stuff that we're working on. So lots of good things coming up in the future. Same as these coins, everything's going to be going up. So just hang in there, hodl your coins, and we'll be back next week.
Take care, everybody.
All right. Have a good night. Thanks, guys.